Good morning.
Hey everybody. So we have a new adventure for you today. We are at Chained Rock in Pineville, Kentucky. So we took off. It was still dark when we left, and hightailed it to the Chained Rock trailhead so we could hit it for sunrise. So I'm not going to yap very much. I want you to see what we're looking at right now. It's absolutely insanely gorgeous. So check it out. So if you like to check things out like we do, at the top of the knobby rock at Chained Rock, there is like a couple of big rocks right here that you can kind of squeeze in between. And there's a small trail, I'm sure this is a user trail, that goes down below the big rock where you can sit and also see the sunrise. Although there's more trees and stuff in the way, but it's still pretty cool. It's a very, very neat overlook. So down below us, you can see the town of Pineville. And the legend of Chained Rock is that the children were scared that this big rock was going to come crashing down and hit the town. So back in the 1930s, 50 men and a bunch of mules pulled this chain up the side of the mountain, and they bolted it in to bolt that rock out there, the one that looks like a wedge out there, to keep it from falling on the town. Now, honestly, it's a rock outcrop and it probably would have never fallen anyway. However, I can add to the story that last night at our lodge, our waitress told us that back in the 80s, there was a huge rock that came off of the top of this mountain and came down and smashed this guy's business. I mean, completely obliterated it. So, would it happen with Chain Rock? I don't know. And is this chain strong enough to hold the rock? I don't know that either. I kind of doubt it. But anyway, so the chain was put in for the peace of mind of the kids. And that's pretty much what I know of the legend. But it's a beautiful place. It's most certainly got to be on your hit list if you ever make it to Pineville, Kentucky. So if you want to get here before sunrise, I'd say, find out what time the sunrise is at the time of the year when you're here, and plan enough time to make it to the parking lot and the trail. I'm not quite sure what the distance was. I've seen varying things as far as how long it was. I mean, but we pretty much had to hightail it in the dark, and I don't even know if we were on the right trail to begin with, because once we got about halfway down, we found like a user trail. The trail that we were on was pretty rough, and I didn't even know if we were going to find our way, because it was still fairly dark, but we're trying to hightail it to get up here before the sun rose. So give yourself plenty of time, but man, oh mercy, if this view is 100,000 times worth it. So now that the sun is up, it's starting to burn some of the fog off, and you can see the little town of Pineville there, and we've come down off that knobby rock. There is where the chain is bolted into the rock that's supposed to keep it from falling, and as most of our adventures, there's Janie up on top of the rock. She's climbed up on the top, and you got the best view in the house.
I do.
So we've never been to Chain Rock before, but when we got over to the side where this other rock was bolted in, I noticed there's a little footbridge, and I'm pretty sure that this connects with the trail that I was on earlier. So if you don't want to try to climb up the knobby rock, you can go underneath the rock and get back up on top to get to the knobby area. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's really not too bad. Although I would say, you probably need some hiking boots. You're probably not going to get very good grip with some sneakers, but totally the easier way to go than climbing up the knobby rock. Although I gotta say, it was kind of fun climbing up there. So, followed the trail up, and sure enough, it gets you on top of the knobby rocks. There's still a little bit of a scramble, but it's pretty simple. I mean, if you hike at all, it's like you could do this scramble to get up here without having to climb up the rock. But yep, comes right up to the top, right through the crack in the rocks that I went through earlier.
So I am up here on the rock that this, up here in Pineville, up above it, right down there's Pineville. On the furthermost rock, and it's beautiful up here. I mean, so serene. We're the only ones up here. I mean, I can't even imagine any place. This is just beautiful. See all the smoke coming off those mountains. And there's our sun. And I'll just to show you for reference, I'll show you where Rob's at. Make my way over here. That's him up there. I'm gonna zoom in on him. Wave, babe. But that's how far he really is. It's the coolest ever.
Okay, this is one last look at Chain Rock. If you ever thought about coming here, you totally should. I mean, the video kind of shows you how majestic this place is, but you have to see it with your own eyes. It's unbelievable. So I don't know what trail that we were on when we were hightailing it through the roto bowls and in the dark, but we did not see any signage at all. But when we came out very close to this rock, and at first we thought this was Chain Rock from the behind, but it's not. It's further down the way a little bit. But yep, there's a sign right there that says 3/8 of a mile to the parking lot. So we're gonna come up the trail a totally different way, on an actual made trail that's actually maintained. Because the way that we went, we were so confused. We're like, how can Chain Rock, this big, beautiful place that people love to visit, not have a maintained trail? We didn't have any clue. Well, we weren't on it. Don't know where we were, but we found a different way down, but we're heading back to the parking lot the way we're supposed to now. But right here, up the trail, there's like this little cool rock shelter. Oh, this is the Laurel Cove Trail. We're not taking that right now, but it's pretty neat. Nice little bonus if you do the Chain Rock Trail. So we just happened to get lucky. We still caught some rhododendron in bloom, and there's quite a bit of blossoms on them down here. Some there, some growing out of the rock right there, a whole bunch right there, and a whole bunch right there. What a great little way to climb the Chain Rock Trail back to the parking lot and get to catch these still in bloom. So cool. So we found a turtle right close to the stairs. I don't know where he's going, but we'll put him back and push him in the same direction he's going in. Once I picked him up, he went back inside the shell. But really cool. Nice little box turtle. So this is another lookout point. And this is actually called Lookout Point, overlooking Pineville. This is like right close to the parking lot at the Chain Rock Trailhead. Another incredible view. You probably could, I don't think you could really hit the sunrise from here because at the angle that we're at, we're kind of, there's a lot more trees in the way, so I don't think we would have seen it come up over the ridge, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So we are in downtown Pineville and wanted to show you a glimpse of what Chain Rock looks like from down below, from down on the town. I mean, if you look very carefully, you can see the chain where it goes across, and that's where we were this morning for our hike. So if you come to visit Chain Rock, you may as well come for the natural arches that are in the park too. Now, I had a friend tell me that they're easily accessible or more accessible from down below from the Laurel Cove Amphitheater. So we're looking for the trailheads right now to try to figure out where we can pick them up and take them up to the arch. But yeah, here's a little amphitheater. It's got a lot of fixed seating, and then it has like so many rocks in that area up through there with like old wooden benches. But so I don't know if they actually have concerts down here or what they do with it, but it's pretty neat. But we're looking for our first trail so we can find our first arch of the day. And we'll show you once we get moving. So when you pull into the amphitheater parking lot, you will not see any mention of any trailheads at all. But if you come through the amphitheater, you'll come across this little footbridge, and there is the start of the amphitheater trail right here. And we saw the other end of this when we were up coming back to the parking lot from Chain Rock. But to the advice I received, it's much easier to get to the arches from down below, and knowing what the elevation is, I would have to say that that is the best advice I could possibly have received. So we're gonna follow the trail, and we'll show you the arch. So honestly, it doesn't look like much of a trail. It almost looks like more of a road, but we'll follow the trail and we'll show you what we find. So the roadway is not the trailhead. The trail is literally up the steps and literally like right behind the side. It starts going up the ridge here. So this is the Laurel Cove Trail. So be forewarned, you take this trail. I don't know how often it's maintained, but we've already come across our first blowdown. So we're gonna try to climb over this tree to get to the other side of the trail. This trail might be short to the arch, but it will certainly be your Thighmaster workout for the day. I mean, just to show you, I mean, we have not even been on it for a while, but down there is the road. So we've already made up quite a bit of elevation in just a short period of time that we've been on the trail. But I think we have about another quarter mile left to go. So we will show you the arch once we get there. So along the path to Powderhorn Arch, saw this footprint in the mud. Don't know how fresh it is, and not really sure what it is, but from this angle, I would say it could be a bear cub. So got to keep our eyes out, make sure that we don't have any bears in the area. But if it's not, it might be some kind of a cat, but certainly looks like a bear print to me. So we've made it up the trail to Powderhorn Arch. And what's really strange, I mean, you go through a series of switchbacks and you're pretty much going through a very wooded area with very little bit of rock on the way. And then all of a sudden you come in this last section and there's a whole bunch of rocks that you come up to. And you almost know that you're almost on top of the arch once you hit the rocks. But we are at 418 feet of elevation on this hike. So that kind of gives you an idea of how it is. I'd say it's probably, as far as the trail goes, it's easy. There's not really any scrambles or anything, but there is quite a bit of steps going up. And boy, your legs will definitely feel it. But I'm going to show you Powderhorn Arch. This is the arch. And it almost appears that it could be a double arch because it's got a lower opening that looks like it's probably bigger than 3 feet. But this is Powderhorn Arch. I believe this is number 58 of the original 155 arches that were documented in Kentucky. But there's been like well over 3,000 documented since this one has been documented. So there's quite a few for us left to find. But this one's pretty big, pretty amazing. We'll show you how tall it is in just a second. So Jeannie is standing underneath the arch, and she probably has a good 3 to 4 feet of clearance above her head, just to give you an idea. So the opening is probably 10 to 12 feet, and probably 20 to 25 feet across. So it's a pretty good size arch. So I noticed on the back side of the arch that there is another opening. So there's like this part that goes down, and right through here, there's another slit right through here, and it's probably another 3 feet across. So this could actually be a multitude of arches here. Here's a closer look at the upper opening of Powderhorn Arch. Now there's like some leaf debris that's in here, but moving that aside, I guess that's probably easily 3 feet across. So this might be considered a double arch at least. So this is the backside of Powderhorn. And as always, with most of our adventures, Jeannie has climbed to the top. So coming up from the amphitheater, Powderhorn Arch was like 0.96, so almost a mile, 418 feet up in order to get here. Sadly, it's like when I looked at the GPS app, it showed like it was only like 0.3 of a mile away. But you go through so many switchbacks that it's closer to a mile by the time you get here. But the good news is for us now is it's all downhill from here. So I do want to show you like one of the cool areas on this trail. So before it was pretty much just switchbacks and coming through the woods, very little rocks. And then we came up to this major rocky area, and they kind of built steps out the side of this rock face in order to get up, keep the trail going up to the arch. So pretty neat little area on the trail. But we have a long way to go to get back down. Just wanted to show you the area that we're hiking through on the way back to the truck. I mean, it's a gorgeous day, and it's a really, except for the one blowdown, it's a pretty well manicured trail. So definitely a great hike here in Pineville. So we got done with a hike from Powderhorn Arch, and I did end up finding my measuring tape, and I measured the second opening according to a line on my hiking stick. And unfortunately, it was only about 29 inches, so it's not big enough to be an official arch. But I would say over time, erosion will open that up and it will be a double arch. It just isn't today. But so we have driven up the road from the amphitheater, and as you just seen, we picked up the Long Hunter Trail, and just a very short walk on the Long Hunter Trail. There are a couple more arches that we want to check out. Bear Arch and Lighthouse Arch. So when we get there, we will show you what we find. So I am standing inside Bear Arch. I'm not sure what kind of arch this is. We need to look at what it's called as far as the type it is. But you can see like where the bridge part goes across right there. So I wouldn't consider that a shelf arch. And it's not an alcove. It might just be like a cave arch. I don't know. But this is Bear Arch here. And directly across the way from it is Lighthouse Arch. And there's water going through the base of that one. And as with most arches that are close to the road, this one has been damaged. It's been spray painted and tagged by the kids because it's really, really close by to the road. In fact, it was ironic that on our way down to the amphitheater where the other trail was, we rode over the bridge and we could see the rock shelter that these things were kind of inside of. And we just thought it was a rock shelter. We had no idea that these were the actual arches until we came back to check it out. So here they are, Bear Arch, and this is Lighthouse Arch. I've said it once and I'll say it again. If you come visit these natural features, please leave no trace, and please leave your spray paint at home. These are not things for people to put their names on or tag. These are just natural features that everybody should be able to enjoy without damaging spray paint on them. It's like, it does damage it. It damages the sandstone, and it's very hard to get off, and it just helps to erode the rock even faster. So please leave your spray paint cans at home. But still, even the fact that it's been damaged, it's pretty cool. And it's kind of like a big rock shelter underneath here. There's lots and lots of deer tracks underneath here. And you can kind of see this rounded rock area. It almost looks like a moon rock or something on this one end of the rock shelter. And then the opening where Lighthouse Arch is, which is right over here. You can see the water coming through right here. And I'm sure if it was a wetter day, that would almost be like a waterfall coming through there. But pretty cool. So Long Hunter Trail goes past the arches and goes underneath this stone bridge that we've driven over multiple times. But you can kind of see, like, they built it into the existing rock that was already here. So I don't know much about bridge work and how that engineering works, but yep, they didn't blast these rocks. They just built it right on top of them. Pretty wild. Hey everybody.
Hi.
So we just got done with our hike. We did about 4.67 miles. So between Chain Rock, Powderhorn Arch, Bear Arch, and Lighthouse Arch, a little over 4 miles. And we've been at it since before 6 o'clock this morning, so we are pretty beat. So we are done for this adventure. We hope you enjoyed it. And as always, get out and hike. Thanks for watching, and have a great week, everybody.